All right, good evening and welcome to the Hanson Select Board meeting of July 22nd, 2025. This meeting is being recorded by Whitman Hanson Community Access Television. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Amazing. First, we're gonna, just because we've got some folks here, Mr. Hill will skip around a little on the agenda. And we will, first up will be the discuss vote the change of manager for Hanson American Legion Post 226 Inc. And the purpose of this agenda item is merely for us to approve or disapprove of the application that will be submitted to the ABCC. Did anybody, it's being transferred to Mr. Hammond, who I know and love, and I know that he will be responsible.
It's just that one.
Sam, and did you want to say anything? I don't think you need to, but if you wanted, huh? You maybe you could say, being of sound mind, I still decide to do this. Something like that. I don't know, you know. Okay, all right. I don't want to put words in your mouth. All right, then I will entertain a motion to approve the change of manager for the Hanson American Legion Post 226 from David George to Samuel G. Hammond.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? All right, amazing, and Mr. George is recusing himself. Okay, great, thank you. Thanks for coming. All right.
There's a question on the floor.
Oh,
Yeah, I just have a question for Dave George.
no, I'm sorry, but
With regards to the license transfer, the minute it was, after we transferred, we were supposed to get passwords and keys.
you know what?
business.
That's between, you can contact Mr. George outside of the meeting. That's not a Hanson Select Board item.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
because he had processed his resignation through the.
Okay, you can speak to him
That's fine.
after the meeting. Okay, great.
Don't mean to interrupt you.
Yep, great, thank you. Okay, then we're gonna move on to, public announcements and upcoming meetings.
We are looking for citizens at large to become members of the following committees: the Bylaw Committee, the Cable and Internet Committee, the Camp Kewanee Commission, the Historical Commission, the Recreation Committee, the Capital Improvement Committee, the Energy Committee, the Recreation Committee, and the Memorial Day and Patriotic Observance Committee. Volunteer applications may be found at the town website, www.hanson-mass.gov, or by calling the Select Board's office at 781-293-2131. And the upcoming meetings for the Select Board, August 5th, 2025, and there's a Select Board and Wage and Personnel meeting on August 19th, 2025, and the Select Board, August 26th, 2025. That's all I got. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I just ask a question? Is it Memorial Day and Patriotic Observation Committee or Observance? Committee?
It's observance.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did I say?
No, it says observation. I think that's just a typo. It's supposed to be observation. Committee.
It's both observance and
Yes,
observation.
it is observing the
We're all in a position of observation of the observance. Okay, all right, well, you'll take care of that then. And then I just wanted to mention that there were a couple of items on our last agenda that we did not post timely. And out of an abundance of caution, we're going to revote them. So if you have a sense of deja vu about a couple of items, that's why. But the next item is not one of them. Other than I'm going to recognize the retirement of Frances Forte. There's no need for us to vote on it. Just her last day, I believe, is August 4th. Correct. And we wish her well, as I indicated at our last meeting, and we thank her for her many, many years of dedicated service. All right, that brings us up to the Camp Kewanee discussion. So Miss Dory Jameson is with us, Mrs. Dory Jameson. Did you want to join us at the Inquisition table, or? Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
Do you have a Bible?
Yeah, where were you on the night of the
I'm
fifth?
just gonna say that.
That's what you need to tell us.
Just stole my thunder. I'm waiting for the
We'll
light.
get a floodlight that's
Yeah,
gonna come down on you.
exactly. I figured as
But
much.
act natural.
Yeah. It'll be an act.
So what we really just kind of wanted to talk to you about is, I think there was some, we'll say, technical term, funkiness around the articles at town meeting, maybe some misunderstanding about what was trying to be achieved.
Sure.
And I know some of it had to do with conversations that our town accountant had had with the state about how we've got to have certain things certified, but that was not, and I'm not laying blame anywhere here.
Right.
I'm just stating a fact. That was not made abundantly clear to everybody at town meeting. So I think there was a lot of misunderstanding, and then I saw some stuff on social media, why are they losing money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So that was one thing that I wanted to chit chat with you about and see if we can get that back on track, perhaps put something on the October town meeting warrant, based on some conversations that our town accountant, Mr. Ken Scherf, has had with the state. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about is now you've got a full Camp Kawani Commission.
We do.
Which is amazing, and that's great, because I know you guys have sort of been, swinging in the breeze a bit. Do you know when they're gonna have their first meeting? Has anybody coalesced there?
Yes, if I may, thank you, Madam
Yeah.
Chair, members of the board, I'm pleased to be here. One of our newest members is out of the country until August 4th. So I've been in touch with all the members, and we're going to schedule a meeting right after that.
Okay.
So we're in touch, and we are in contacting each other. So, yeah, right after August 4th, we'll be scheduling.
Okay,
the first meeting.
because one of the reasons I wanted to ask that is the Economic Development Committee really wants to try to see how we can maximize revenues at Camp Kawani.
Yeah.
Not just Camp Kawani, all town properties, so like the light control property, the nurses' quarters up at Plymouth County Hospital. This is one of our focuses. And so I thought, while we had you here tonight anyway, I would mention that to you. And some of the things that have been tossed around have been like, what could we do to advertise more broadly? What could we do to see if we could have the camp used during the day? For things like maybe trainings or like team building sessions or, employee luncheons, that type of a thing. And we've been talking to Mr. DeFrias, our town planner, and he's been connecting with the South Shore Chamber of Commerce to see if they've got some thoughts and ideas about how we could connect with people, maybe like put some stuff out on there, in their literature. And one of our members, Scott Rothwell, has got a catering business, and he was telling us that he advertised with, it sounds crazy, but with Yelp, and he got so much business just like advertising with Yelp. And I'm not sure that would be simpatico with Camp Kawani, but like something like that.
Yeah.
And I recognize that it is not the job for you and Renee to be out there advertising. I know you've been dabbling in that, but, so the Economic Development Committee wanted to talk to you guys, maybe not at your first meeting, like maybe we'll let you get your sea legs a little bit, kind of figure out who's who in the Zoom. You're going to have to reorganize and, nominate a chair, vice chair, et cetera, of the Camp Kawani question. But come and talk to you about what our committee could do to help you guys. What Tony DeFrias might be able to bring to the table, and how we could work together to try to, you guys keep doing your own thing, and we want to see what we could do to maximize, the revenue coming in. So I just thought I'd mention that since you were here anyway.
Yes, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, Tony was in touch with me about all that, and I'm totally on board.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And in particular, Scott Rothwell is very passionate about it.
Yep.
He used to be a big user of the camp. He's grown up in town. He's a veteran-owned business, and he is into Camp Quaney. So he
He is.
really would like to, so he probably will be like our liaison, if you will, kind of from the Economic
Great.
Development Committee. So anyway, but let's get back on track on, let's talk about, and Mr. Kincher, I didn't know if you might want to join.
Sure.
Dory, to talk about what happened with the funding, and if you can just start us off from the very beginning of what we were intending to do, what happened, what the unintended consequences were of what happened, and now what we need to move forward.
So, what originally happened was, in FY '23, we collected $360,000 in revenue for Camp Kawani Boy.
Right.
And that was great. So, I think it was 350. So basically, when we voted the FY 25 budget, we said, all right, 350 in revenue level fund that. We voted $350,000 for our budget, so we said, okay, that's good. But then, when we set the recap, we looked at the FY '25 revenues, they're only $227,000. So DLS said, hey, you voted a $350,000 budget, you only have $227,000 in actual revenues. So we have a problem with that, and we had to get the tax rate set.
Yeah.
So luckily, we did not spend any E&D, so it was kind of like Monty Hall, let's make a deal. Instead of having another town meeting delaying the tax bills, they said, as long as you make an agreement not to spend the retained earnings, that'll be a buffer, because it was like 141,000, that'll make up any potential shortfall.
Okay.
So that's what happened. Now, when the budget came up this year, at town meeting, we were told we can't spend any retained earnings. They came in with a budget of, like $284,000, but they needed like $306,000. And all we had was the history of like $227,000 to go by for FY '24. So we asked for $79,000 in free cash to supplement that. So that kind of went up in flames a little bit.
Well, because it was free cash at a time when we were doing the override, and people just didn't, they just thought it was willy-nilly, maybe just,
Yeah,
yeah.
but that was kind of like the logic behind it. So since town meeting's taken place, a couple of things have happened. Dory's been working on the expense budget, and she had almost like 80,000 in turnbacks off your regular budget. And instead of $227,000 collected in FY '24, there was $277,000. So I'm anticipating, when we certify the free cash before October town meeting, that the retained earnings will be certified at kind of like 150,000.
Okay,
So in order to balance the budget now, the budget that we need is 306,000. We can probably put 275,000 as a good faith estimate, because that's pretty close to what we got.
Yeah.
And we'll use the 31,000 to stop the gap. So at the town meeting, the hope is we'll have a balanced budget for Camp Kawani, self-sufficient, and we'll probably have $120,000 in retained earnings available. Okay, so that begs the question, like long-term, like going for FY '27, '28,
Right,
'29.
yeah.
So if the budget is like 306 this year, and we're only collecting 277, there is a small little gap between the revenues and expenses. So if that can get addressed, kind of like what you're talking about with revenues, that's fine. If not, we'll just have to wean off the 120 retained earnings, peel off 30,000 a year
Yeah,
or so.
yeah.
So that's basically like where we stand. Like, it was confusing, but I think we landed in a good place,
We did,
Yeah. And then Dory made a great point to me is, accounting wise, I guess all the revenues to come in as liabilities, and they said, as long as if nobody cancels and they do it, we'll count it as revenue. But she said, no, there's no refunds. So what the money that's coming in, we're counting, it's going right.
It's non-refundable. Yeah.
Non-refundable. I said, that's all I need.
We've had like we had that weird death thing.
COVID.
Like, we've had a few little exceptions, but generally,
If there is an exception, we
Yeah.
can handle it. But
Yeah.
the
Right.
point is, we're not gonna like funnel the money through the liability and put it into revenue, put it in
right,
revenue. So,
right.
so that's where we stand now. Basically, this past year was I'd call it a break-even year.
Yeah,
Revenues and
absolutely.
expenses.
Yep,
But
Okay, so we're not bleeding money up at Camp Quaney.
No.
Because this was how
No.
people were kind of like,
See,
I guess, interpreting this need for
and-
free cash
and-
was like, it's not self-sustaining.
I know,
and, you know.
I know. And if I may, Madam Chair, and
Yeah.
the reason was there was no mechanism at that time unless we had to set the tax rate, and we would have had to call for another town meeting to do this, and no one's gonna do that.
Right.
So that's why we said free cash.
Yeah.
You know,
And the historical thing too is there was only 227,000 in FY '24. So we couldn't envision what was gonna happen in '25 yet. So I don't know if there's gonna be, if there was another 227, that would be even more problematic. But having an extra 50,000 this year
Yeah.
kind of changed the outlook a little bit.
Okay.
And the Dory thinks we'll probably be about the same.
about the same, I would
next
say,
year,
yeah.
so.
I would
Okay.
say absolutely the same. So we'll probably have, after the transfer, 120,000
Right.
probably in retained earnings.
Yep.
So we're not bleeding. We're
Okay.
fine. It was the
Okay.
timing. And I understand all the confusion, but the mechanism wasn't there to be able to access our own retained earnings.
So can we do ourselves a really solid favor? And we're obviously gonna have to place something on the October town
Yeah.
meeting warrant. Can we be crystal clear about why we are there and what happened so that there's
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I mean, we can't stop conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
They are in abundance. I think it might be the water, I'm not sure.
No,
but,
that's fine.
It's the
but,
water.
Yeah, okay. So if
Absolutely.
we can do
Yeah.
that, that would be great.
Succinct and clear.
And we think 31,000 from our own retained earnings will get us there.
Absolutely.
With-
And I'd like to add also, the town voted, enterprise fund for the water, which is great, and Camp Kawani, we're handling a little different.
Yeah.
They're actually contributing, 21,000 to our general fund revenues, Camp Kawani, because, we're taking indirect costs, like costs of the accounting, like 5% of the treasurer, and, to think 2% of the audit, so
Yeah.
21,000. So by having town meeting vote those enterprise funds as presented, that's gonna help us in October, so we have a little
Definitely.
bit extra money.
Yep.
We'll need every dollar that we can get.
So, instead of all that coming from the general operating fund, we're hitting them for their proportionate
And that's
piece
new.
of that. Yeah.
Yes, right.
Right, so we're
Yes.
budgeting it all in the general fund, but we're using some of those revenues per town meeting to offset the costs and throw that revenue into the general fund, so.
I think.
Right.
So when Dory
Yeah.
sat next to me, I think the account, we're going, and it says accounting 6,900, I said, Dory, I just wanna make sure you get your $6,900 for it.
And then some.
Well, let us know if you don't feel like you're going.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Did anybody have any questions about that? I know people had a little hubbub about,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I
There's
just
always a
wanted-
hubbub about something, isn't
yeah,
there?
well,
Always.
yep. So any questions on your end, Mr. Heel? Okay, amazing. All right, well, thank you so much for
You're
coming.
so very welcome.
And
Any-
keep up the great work, and I'm excited for you to have a full commission. I
Yep.
think you guys are gonna start rocking and rolling there. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're excited,
Yeah.
yeah. Good people in place, and we're
Yeah.
very thrilled, and
Great diversity of backgrounds and.
yeah, exactly. And we're doing a lot at the camp, a lot of renovations, within the structures, and we're very proud of it. And the Cove is doing
I was gonna say, how's the beach going this year?
excellent.
Yeah.
For instance, so just to give you some perspective, last year, the Cove took in $50,000, and the expenses were $35,000. So we made $15,000 last year on Cranberry Cove. This year, it's right on the money, same thing, probably more, because we already put the expenses out before. So that's doing great. We've done renovations to the cabins. The craft cabin is now the groom's cabin. In fact, somebody's renting it now. Floors have been done. The bridal cottage has undergone extreme renovations, new floor. It's beautiful, like you would stay there. I mean, it's gorgeous. And we've done a lot of camping this year. We've got like 12 weddings booked. I'd like 30, but we've got 12. And we've got like 60 parties booked in a year.
That's great.
Yeah, it is good. So, we are doing well. We have good people. We have good staff. We've got good renovations. We're heading in the right direction. And for the first time at the Cove now, we've got a retail food permit. And we're not for the first time, but, in my tenure, we're selling beverages and snacks.
Love it.
Down at the Cove, and it's great. And that's why we redid the cabin we're gonna make it a store. But when we did it, we're like, doesn't kind of make sense. It's just sell it down there. So we redid that, made it half store, which is great. And the other cabin now is an exclusive cabin to rent, and people love it. So it ended up working out great, and the summer's going great, and yeah, we're doing good. And really, in every way you can think, we're doing great.
All right, well, we really thank you and Renee for holding things together without a full commission, and the rest of the staff, they do a great job. Every time I'm up at an event, like I was at the trivia night for the
Yeah.
library the other night, and it's always flawlessly run. Everything's great.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they do an excellent job.
yeah.
They really do. Yeah, it's a good, it's all good, as they say.
All right,
It is.
if anybody had anything else? All right, well, thank you both.
Thank you very
so
much. I appreciate it. It was a
All right.
pleasure.
All right, discuss vote approval for block party on Brook Bend Road, August 31st, 2025, at 2 PM. So in your packets, you've got some info regarding said block party. Or perhaps I'm the only one who does, I don't know, but
No, that-
do you guys have it?
Yeah, I
Okay,
do.
you've got it, okay. So it looks like generally, aside from one individual, most people are, on board with the block party. And I know years ago they used to do this, because I have a couple friends who live in that, neighborhood. So this has been a long-standing tradition, but I think it jumped the track probably during COVID, I'm guessing, I don't know. And they're doing it again, but it was beloved by everybody there.
So
And,
this is a long-term thing, this is,
oh, no, this isn't the first time. Yeah,
Okay.
this isn't a flash in the pan. They've done this many, many years. Like I said, it's been, it may not have been being done during COVID, but I know before that it was fairly regular. Because I was super jealous. They'd have the bouncies and like food, the whole thing. So it's been going on for years. We've got some comments. The Deputy Fire Chief said, that they're fine and,
did this go to the user? I can't tell, because they're asking not to have any large objects that can't be moved there. So I think they need to know that. Didn't they say that?
yeah, yes. Yes,
Free
you
of
can see
large
that if the organizer is on the list of the people
Okay.
that it was sent to.
Perfect.
Yep, so it says, just make sure, so I think they're talking about bouncies or whatever, all the below,
Anything in the
the
way
inflatables, yeah.
can't easily be removed if there's a fire.
Yeah, so I think that was their only concern, which obviously people will abide by. And then, we do have one person that has said that she does not authorize, them to sort of block her off. And do we have the person who's,
I'm trying to figure out where she is in
right here. I
relationship.
don't know if you see the,
no, I mean, do we have the person who's organizing this?
is she here? Oh, no, the person's
I
organizing it.
I don't see her. Because I'm just trying to figure out how they're gonna be responsive to this individual's concerns. It's not our job to be responsive to them. The organizer needs to figure out how to work with the neighbor who's saying, I don't want you to block my driveway, which is her prerogative. And,
Like, is it possible to have a no large objects?
All right, so I'm gonna make a point here.
Yeah.
She is on a cul-de-sac.
yeah.
Where are they planning on
That's,
blocking?
well, they used to do it, I'm like spatially challenged here, but let's see.
So, let me
They
just-
used to do it like right up, where are you,
So,
situate me?
no.
Oh,
Keep it like this, because I'm spatially challenged also.
oh, that's the end of
house
it,
right
okay,
there.
all
That's
right.
the end of it, right there.
Oh, yeah, they don't usually have it at the end.
Right.
They usually have it on one of the one of the, like, either here
So
or,
there's egress right there, that's my point.
Yeah.
If they block off from here to here, if they block off anywhere from here all the way down to here, there's no issue.
okay.
And that's what we should make
So
sure we do.
I don't know, have you spoken to this individual at all?
I haven't spoken.
Have you?
Do we
Okay.
know what the address is of Elisa Zakoska?
Well, she's the one who's organizing
430.
it.
Right, do we know what her address is?
isn't it?
Dory,
No,
what,
she's not. The one who's
4:30
objecting is
Brookbend Road.
4:30.
Yes.
yes,
Somewhere I got that.
The one who's objecting
Yeah, that's
is at
the person
4:30.
that
I
doesn't
wanna
want
know
to
where
have-
she is
that's the person
located.
that doesn't
Because if
want-
she's down the other end, there's no issue.
Then
Yeah.
hers is on this first page here,
Yeah.
288.
okay, yeah, oh, yeah, you're right. She's got hers down the bottom of the, first page. She's here.
Okay, 288.
Person that doesn't
All right.
want her.
All right, you know what, we're gonna need to hear from Alicia. I don't want to approve this, and I don't know why we wouldn't have somebody here, if they're trying to do the block party.
Okay, so they live.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable until
Yeah.
you know, we don't have the authority to approve something unless there's unanimous approval by all of the neighbors.
Right.
And I don't know what this individual's situation is, but, you know, there could be medical concerns or something else. So,
They're one house away from each other.
yeah, and Ed pointed out that they are saying that they are gonna, temporarily close, the cul-de-sac portion of Brookbend Road. So right where that person lives, because, according to
there's
the
no way
map,
out.
they,
There's no
they
way
live right there. So if you're closing off the circle, you know, unless they're gonna have a helicopter at the ready, I don't see how she's gonna get out. So we're gonna need them to come here or send us a letter. We're gonna need a letter from the person who has concerns, saying that her concerns have been sufficiently addressed by the folks that are organizing it.
Well, we don't have them.
Okay.
Invite them to the next
All right.
August 5th meeting.
Yep.
Her only concern, she said, was due to personal reasons, but that didn't tell us anything.
Well, and nor do I really don't want to get into somebody's private, trust me, I don't want to get into anybody's private business. So I think they're gonna need to be neighborly and come up with there's two streets, that lead to that cul-de-sac. So they could easily decide they were going to block off one side and allow passage on the other side. There's some options there, and I think they are going to need to explore that to be responsive to the concerns that are being raised. So we will plan on, we'll address it on August 5th if the organizer wants to come, and is able to represent that there's some solution, that's fine, but I want to be super clear. It is not the board's job to work out a solution for a private block party. So, God be with you. Okay, all right, and then, well, we've got, so next up, we've got, planning board to hold a public hearing regarding MBTA, but I want to take a little bit of leeway here. I had a conversation with Representative, Sweezy, I want to say Friday or Saturday, I don't know.
I don't think she would. I would have approved it.
Are we all set?
But she just said that she asked the lady to come to the meeting that didn't want to have it, and she said, no, I don't want to come. So if you don't want to come here and defend yourself and to explain.
I don't think it's her job to come to a meeting and defend herself from something, it's not something that must happen.
I mean, as long as emergency vehicles can
Yeah,
get
but she may have some personal reason why she doesn't want to come to the meeting and talk about her personal business, but she's got a right to say, I don't want my driveway blocked.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
She has the right to say that.
yeah, I don't think she needs to come to, I think the reverse, I think the burden is on the person who's organizing it to come and tell us that she has resolved whatever the concerns are. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so, the MBTA community, I spoke with, Ken Sweezy Friday or Saturday. There's a hearing on, July 29th on I believe it's his bill, but I think he proposed it with.
I saw
Yeah.
the posting.
Yeah, so, he was wondering whether, our board would be willing, to send a letter, that could be read into the record. He indicated that, obviously saying that we're not in favor of the MBTA community. And he, indicated that as long as, we could also go in person, but you know, I do have a day job and I can't make it in,
Thursday?
whatever the 29th
I
is.
think it was.
Okay.
It's a Thursday?
No, so it would be, wouldn't it be next Tuesday?
Is it Tuesday? I
A
thought it
week
was-
from today, right? The 29th?
I'm sorry then.
Yeah. Yeah, so
It is
next
a week from
Tuesday.
today, I'm sorry.
And there's gonna be a hearing, so we can either appear in public, I think you can even register to give, testimony virtually. I know they usually will allow that, or we can send a letter. I thought, just for, expediency purposes and, you know, whatever, I thought it might be easiest if we just had a letter from the board, and we asked Miss Green to write it. I did talk to Ken and ask if any of his other towns were sending one. He was pretty sure Marshfield was going to. He wasn't sure about Halifax. And so what I don't want to dictate, but here's my, like, 2 cents worth on it. I thought that the letter should be pretty easy, to write. I thought we should say, you know, we have taken this up at town meeting. The majority of citizens have expressed concerns. The concerns that we have are around, the fact that we are a very small town with limited resources, and that we are quite concerned about the strain that this would put on our first responders, the schools, our infrastructure of water, and we don't have sewer, so I think that would be another thing we would want to mention. P.S. by the way, we don't have. And it would dramatically change the character of the town. And then I think we will also probably want to say that, you know, we believe in capitalism. If people have got the money and they want, like, why should we be trying to make things easier for people to do? If they've got money, it should be an even playing field. Like, you have the money, you come, you comply with the regulations, just like everybody before you had to do. You know, like, why are we suddenly gonna say that that we're gonna make it easier? We're not being difficult, but we're just asking people to comply with the regulations that we've all voted on.
Development regulations.
Yeah, the zoning bylaws. So do you guys agree, like, is there anything else you want to add into that?
Who would write said letter?
Lisa's gonna write it on our behalf.
With basically the gist of what she
Well,
just
what,
said.
if you guys
Yeah,
agree, and if there's anything
yep,
else you
yep.
want to say, then let us know and we'll put it into the letter. I did suggest very strongly to Ms. Green that I recently have had very positive experiences with Copilot writing letters by just feeding it a few little things, and it just whips out these magnificent little works of art, so, but what, by hook or by crook, however you do it, is up to you. Was there anything else that, you wanted to mention to have in the letter?
No, I'll just action the letter with those concerns, on that,
And will you have it ready for us to sign, or do you want to just sign it on behalf of
Send it
the?
out to us, I want to read it.
Yeah, we'd like to read it for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
I said if you're
Yeah, so why don't
review,
we-
but it's at the will of the board.
Yeah, I think that's a good
If you would like me to sign it on your behalf, or if you would like. me-
Ed said he'd like to sign it. I kind of feel the same way.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we'll set it up,
Yeah.
so that all the board, and we'll let you,
Yes.
as long as it's approved, we'll have it ready for the board members to come in and sign.
Okay.
We'll do that. And if I may, Madam Chair, may I suggest we still move forward with the process of sending a letter to the planning board to hold a hearing, because there is deadlines and dates as far as holding the hearing. There's an appeal, and so there's dates, so that we meet the October special town meeting deadline for posting the warrant with the information in there.
Okay, so I think you need to level set why that is necessary.
Under the MBTA regulations, and what's required of the planning board, they are required to hold a public hearing regarding the MBTA when there is zoning regulations that are looking to be modified or created.
But just to back, because the Attorney General has spoken to our town council and said, if you do not put this on the October town meeting warrant, we will be coming after you.
Correct.
So what we've discussed is, of course, you know, like, we've been pretty clear on where we stand on this, is, it's our intention to have 2 articles on the October town meeting warrant. One, which would, you know, you've got to go through the process, the hearing to the planning board. And the other one is, if you don't want this, we need money to defend ourselves. You
not-
pick a lane here. I mean, you know, it's unfair to tell us to fight it and not give us the tools to fight it.
It's not punishing us if we can't fight it, it's punishing the town.
Right. And there was somebody who made a suggestion that we just let the, you know, chips fall where they may and not even,
I'm not
you know,
willing to do
respond.
that.
And that is, irresponsible. I actually would say it would be a dereliction of our duty
Yep.
to do that, because one of the things the select board is elected to do is to defend, the town in any lawsuits. So just letting the chips fall where they may would not be the right approach there. So, Mr. Heel.
I just want, back to the letter, I don't necessarily want this to be on the letter, but the unfunded mandate keeps coming back, and the whole thing that happened in Fall River, and now, as of today or recently, the governor is gonna give Fall River more money for their, emergency services to backfill, I mean, and now they're talking about, but we're gonna need more emergency services here if we do this, and it's unfunded. I mean, it truly is, we're,
Well, Lord help us, do we have to burn something down to get that? Because that's what happened in Fall River.
that's what I'm thinking.
Those
How
poor
many
people.
casualties does
Those poor
Hanson need to
people.
have before Massachusetts will give us money? But you don't need to put that in the letter.
Oh, I've got things that we could
Yeah,
put in a letter.
okay, all right, you guys are getting spicy now. All right, so we do, I do want to mention, Ken was pretty clear about this, it's got to be 3 minutes, so I know I just said all that stuff to you. But make that happen in 3 minutes or less, so it has to be able to be read in 3 minutes or less.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure they give a little leeway, but if it's a, you know, like a novelette, they're not going to read it into the record. And he said they will read every letter into the record, like 3 minutes of every letter into the record. I think we could whip that up in a 3 minute or less,
Certainly do
yeah.
something like that could be powerful, in the message that we want to send.
All right, so I will entertain a motion to have Ms. Green put together a letter, in preparation for the July 29th hearing on this, for all of us to come into the office and sign.
I so move.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? All right, amazing. And then,
Strongly worded letter.
Stru-
It's very effective.
yes. And then the planning board, to hold a public hearing, in order to have that on the warrant, the planning board has to have a hearing. Even though they already had a hearing, whatever, 2 years ago or something, they have to have another hearing.
Right, because it's regarding updating a current zoning map and creating the
Yeah.
districts.
Do they have to
That's
vote
all.
on a hearing, or do they just have to have the hearing?
No, they don't have to vote on the hearing, they just have to hold the hearing.
Okay.
And
They don't need
then
a
they
vote to
can
have it.
decide they're gonna make recommendations to us or not. They can say, okay, we held the hearing, we're totally neutral, we're not gonna
Yeah.
tell you guys one way or the other, do with what you will, but they are required to hold the
But we've
hearing.
also been told that the planning board was on the move to come up with our own
40R.
40, or district that will
Yeah.
be in compliance, or as much compliance as needed to comply, so that we maintain control over this, because if we don't do it this way, the
No, so that's a
state is
great
gonna
point.
maintain control.
And you know, we both spoke to the
Yes.
chair of the planning board, and I've talked to Mr. DeFrayis, the planner, and they are pretty far along on the
Yeah,
40R.
they are.
Because they were already working on the 40R, before MBTA Community
Right.
came. They had hearings, they had, I think they even had a consultant. I mean, they really went pretty far, and then we had to take a sharp left because we were hit with the MBTA
Which doesn't
Community.
mean that we're planning on putting up, gigantic places for people to live. That's not, that, we're trying to avoid that. We're trying to do it in keeping with the town.
40R retains
Right.
more of our sovereignty and the
Right.
control of each of the land use boards.
Right.
If I
So-
remember correctly, they they did have the consultant come in one of the past few meetings, and they were talking about where they would put a 40R in town, and there were requirements about where it's placed
It has to be
within
so
town.
close to, and, yeah.
And I don't know, I believe they said they really can't find a place to put it. So I think we need to confirm with the planning board what they.
That's a full compliance one,
Yeah,
but if we do something that
like to find a
nudges
place that
the.
fits a 40R.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah,
I think we can do that.
Okay.
I mean, that's what happened it wasn't in Middleborough that ended up.
Yeah, so, but if you recall, when we spoke to legal counsel, so Middleborough was able to, there's no other way of putting it, negotiate with the
Right.
state, and say, we're not going to adopt the MBTA Community Act, but we have a 40R district that we designed, and if you do a comparison between the 40R and the MBTA community, a lot of what you're trying to do in MBTA community has been done in Middleborough's 40R. Would you let us use that? And they were told they could. But when we talked to our town council, they said, well, they already had it. You guys don't have the 40R yet. But what do we get to lose?
No, I know.
I
have nothing.
feel like, we just need to plumb the depths of every potential option we've got here, and that's one of them. That said, I'm wondering, is it possible for us to get, Mr. DeFrias, to maybe our August 5th meeting? If he's available, if he's not on vacation or whatever, to tell us where he's at with the 40R, what the timing is for his 40R, what other steps need to be done, because I feel like we're in a bit of a, time crunch here, because we're looking at that October town meeting, deadline, and we usually have the articles in, alarmingly enough, in August. We can put placeholders in there and work some of the details out, but, I think I'd really like to hear from them, like, where are they at right now, and what are the next steps, and are they planning on taking those next steps?
To put the letter together, and I can submit that. He's on vacation this week, but at least I can date it today and then submit it to Mr. DeFreitas.
Oh, no, Tony doesn't need to see our letter.
I know, just to get the letter and submit it to let them know that the board has.
Oh, the planning board, okay,
The
yeah,
planning board,
yeah.
right, to
We didn't
hold
take a vote on that yet, so I will entertain a motion, to send a letter to the planning board asking them to hold a public hearing regarding MBTA community.
So moved.
second.
All in favor? Okay, great. All right, we went around the bend and back again on that one. I will entertain a motion to open the October 6th special town meeting warrant.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then I will entertain a motion to enter into the ROCCC intermunicipal agreement effective July 1st, 2025. And that's a 3-year period or 5?
I believe it's a 3.
I thought it was 3. I think it's 3.
It's a 3.
And
Okay.
we've been in there for how long? What's,
We just hit our 5-year.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I will entertain that motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss and vote to appoint Alex Stewart to capital, sorry, Alex, I shouldn't have been, I didn't realize, I thought you were just here because, you just wanted to bone up on what was happening. I would have prioritized you, sorry about that.
Okay, I sat in on these meetings.
Well, we're thrilled to have you, and sorry to hold you captive so long.
No worries, this is interesting.
So I will entertain a motion to appoint Alex Stewart to the Capital Improvement Committee.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And thank you so much for stepping up, because
Yes.
we really need people.
I've been involved in town for about 6 years now, and I was saying as I said in my form, like, I'm ready to take more responsibilities and get a better understanding of local government through capital improvement.
You may regret making that offer to us, Alex. We've got a live one. Okay, great. Thanks, Alex. All right.
Thank you.
Discuss vote to approve 2025 election workers list for town clerk.
Looks fine to me.
Ms. Green, was there anything that you wanted to mention on that, or?
No, actually, no, our new town clerk has submitted the list. There's no concerns or anything regarding any of the names on the list, so.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve the 2025 election workers list for town clerk. Are we, out of an abundance of caution, Mr. Heel, I really hate to do this to you, but I think you need to read
Okay.
their names. Okay.
This is the list of 2025 election workers. The
2026.
term expires 2026.
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah.
Unenrolled is Deborah J. Bonney, Lisa Marie Carson, Ellen M. Conant, Matthew James Dyer, Kathleen Ferrara, Helen L. Fuller, Ellen E. Hearn, Anne Marie Heislip, Daniel L. Johnson, Mary Beth Johnson, Jill E. Kelly, Kimberly Ann L'Italian, Kathleen A. McGee, Nancy M. Myers, Elvira A. Osso, or James Augustus Roderick, Louise Marie Russo, Teresa M. Santa Lucia, Margaret Jane Snyder, Matthew W. Spencer, Roberta J. Spencer, Heidi Lee Waddell, and Maureen L. Watson. And moving over to the Democrats, Ernest B. Jr. Amato, Janice M. Black, Corinne Cafato, Susan Teresa Corbett, Paul George Corey, Arlene Marie Diaz, Marianne Dimachio, Carolyn A. Dragon, Linda M. Diamond, William L. Keogh, Deborah J. McCarthy, Liam A. McSweeney, Thomas McSweeney, Francis Vincent Moran, Kathleen A. Moran, Diane L. Nichol, Sandra M. Nugent, Dennis Christopher O'Connell, Erin C. O'Connell, Maureen O'Neill, Joseph A. O'Sullivan, Paris Sanders, Alexander Stewart, Marilyn Veronica Weber, Margaret O. Westfield. And moving over to the Republicans, we have Lee H. Baker, Scott Francis Cheney, Brian H. Clemens, Ellen R. Como, Fred C. Distrofaro,
Cristofaro,
Discrofaro,
close enough.
close enough?
Yep.
Robert Allen III, Robert Allen Dodge III, Audrey A. Flanagan, Nancy Ann Gaffey, Christine L. Huska, Alan R. Kingman, Stephen W. Lyons, Leanne Marie Mann, Jennifer H. Mann,
De
DeCristaro,
Cristofaro.
thank you. Mary F. Mills, Muldowney, Kimberly A. Newcomb, I'm sorry if I'm saying these names incorrectly, I'm sure I am. Patty Lou Norton, Catherine A. Smith, Kurt Michael Tarvis II, and Alyssa M. Valley. And that's the end of that list.
All right, well done. Except we have another list. No, we don't. Just kidding. All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the 2025 election workers list for the town clerk.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Amazing. Discuss vote to appoint new assistant collector, Miss Green.
Okay, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, members of the board, so, as mentioned earlier, our current assistant collector, Fran Forbes, will be retiring on August 4th. We, in accordance with the collective bargaining agreement, we did post the position in-house. We did have a candidate, an in-house candidate, Lon Woodward. She has been with the town for many, many years, and she actually does have experience working in the treasurer collector's office as the clerk in the office, and she was there from 2013 to 2017, so she has 4 years' experience. The treasurer collector, Lisa Clark, is very excited to have her come on board. She is very happy to come on board, and I highly recommend the board appoint her as our new assistant collector Effective date would be August 5th.
That's wildly exciting. Lon is just a really great, very positive, very smart, well-rounded individual. What is, the plan to get her up to speed on the credentials and what have you? Are they gonna send her to some training and,
So the plan will be, actually, so there is an employee in the treasure collector's office who is on, an unpaid leave. So, the treasure collector has that money. So what the plan is, Ms. Woodward will, work her normal shift. She's part-time. After her shift, she will go down to the treasure collector's office and sit with the current assistant collector for some training.
okay,
And that will basically start tomorrow, and go through, August 1st, Friday, August 1st. Let me just double check that date.
and then does she need to get some type of credentials, like, state credentials for, a collector? I know Lisa's got them, but I think we want some redundancy there, right?
Yes, so Lisa Clark will handle any of the formalities as far as her bonding and things like that.
Okay.
So she will take care of all that, as well as canceling the bond for the current assistant collector. So all that will take place in the next 2 weeks. So August 1st is Friday, so she will train basically starting tomorrow through Thursday, July 31st, and then be ready to hit the ground running on August 5th.
That's amazing.
So this is a full-time position?
Yeah, so you know Lon very
I know
well
her
from
very well. I'm
conservation,
worried
and I'm
about
sure
this.
I'm sure you're bummed out that
I had-
conservation's not gonna have her anymore.
Big time.
Yeah.
Not happy with that.
But your loss in the
Yes, it's a
town's
good-
gain.
Yes,
Yep.
no, it definitely makes sense. It's a good move.
So that's exciting. We love to see people stick with us and grow with us and, bring their talents. And Lon worked at Camp Kawani. I mean, she's worked in several different departments, so she's very well-rounded.
Yes,
Did she work for us too?
No, she never worked
Did
for
she
the
work for
select board. No, no,
Maybe I'm thinking somebody else.
no.
she's got a great foundation.
Yeah, very good. Worked in a lot of
She's
different
very
roles.
well versed in a lot of different departments, so.
Well, I'm
she'll be
excited
an
for her.
asset to the,
All right, so her effective date is August 5th?
well, that's the date she will start full-time, but for training purposes, it will be tomorrow, July 20th.
So, okay, so you want us to say July 23rd?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to be careful here, because sometimes there's pitfalls for the unwary. If we say tomorrow, are we going to have the union telling us that she gets paid the new rate for all of her hours starting tomorrow?
That's something I didn't think of, so I'll double check that. So if we
Okay.
want to say, so if we want to move forward with August 5th, and then maybe I'll work a side letter with the union for her to begin training at her current rate.
Okay,
So
yeah, you see what I'm saying,
I do
like,
see,
we've got to
yeah,
split.
something I didn't
Yeah.
think of, but that's wonderful, and we will have town council with us a little bit later that we can maybe,
So she's starting on Tuesday, August?
Well, yeah, because Fran's last day is the 4th,
Oh, okay. Her
Yeah.
last day is the Monday.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
so, which is kind of strange, usually people do start on a Friday, but whatever. Okay, so, for clarity's sake, did you want to tell us what the motion is that we're going to make?
I will entertain a motion to appoint Lon Woodward as the new assistant collector, effective August 5th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All right, welcome on board, full-time. And then, on the good news train, we have discuss vote to appoint Percy Child, Youth Services Librarian, Miss Green.
Yeah, this is really great. Percy was a wonderful employee with the library. He had left the town to take a position elsewhere. But when the youth services position opened up, he made the decision to apply for the position, and there was no hesitation whatsoever by the library director to offer him the position. So we are really thrilled to have him come back on board. The effective date, the first scheduled work date will be tomorrow,
boy.
July 23rd. He was appointed by the board this evening.
All right, so I will entertain a motion to appoint Percy Child to the Youth Services Librarian effective July 23rd. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Can I just say what a great name that is? Okay, discuss vote remaining annual appointments.
Another list, another list.
Another list, because you know what? We're nothing if we are not list-driven. Ms. Green?
So, the board, at our last meeting, had some questions regarding some appointments. And I believe Colleen, our former executive assistant, corrected some of those positions and double-checked the term. As you see, the zoning board of appeals, the terms are highlighted to correct the dates, and it looks like we will need to reappoint them at
September.
prior to September 30th, 2025.
Okay.
I'm not sure that is, you know why? Did you have to mention that? Is it a note?
So, I'm sorry, which one? So we're just doing the ZBA?
Yeah.
In short?
Right, so that person is at 3 years. Yeah, they were already appointed though. Their term ends on 9/30/2025.
Yeah, because
That's
we
the
had some
zoning board of
research to do
appeals,
about,
yes.
because they should have been staggered appointments, and, our office had some research to do, because they don't all have, continual appointments. The way that the ZBA, appointment bylaw reads is it's intentionally staggered, so that you don't have mass exodus or, mass entrance, and you lose all kinds of knowledge, So we put the 9/30/2025 date just to buy us time until our office could figure out who's who in the zoo, when they got appointed, when their term should be up, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to require some serious forensic work.
They told me that she couldn't find anything, so it was.
I'll work on it, and I think you could ask the town clerk to forensically look back.
Yeah.
My very strong suggestion would be to go back, look at, some of the ZBA removal, minutes, in which we appointed people, and then you can back into it.
And then, then we'll do that additional
Yeah.
research and
I
find
think
out.
Michael Fleming and Christopher Costello were the same year, though.
They were,
Yeah.
yeah. But they may have each taken up somebody else's term,
That's true, too.
which terminated a different, yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right, so we'll
She did say that there was, Edwin should be like 1 year, and then Amato second another year, and Fleming another year.
okay, we'll figure that out.
all right, well, you could have your people call our people, and we'll do that at the next meeting. Okay, great. And then that brings us to the no-knock policy. So I contacted Chief Casey, over the weekend. I'm sorry, jump the track here. Lisa, I've noticed that there is a very specific motion that was included that I did not notice before.
But that's from the 20th.
No, I know, but I think we might need to vote it specifically this way. To say, a motion to update the current zoning map and create the proposed MBTA district, draft and amend zoning bylaws for said district, and request a report from the planning board. I will entertain that motion.
Well, so moved, but we've already voted it.
But we didn't say those words.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So moved.
okay.
Second.
All right, all in favor? All right, sorry for that little, circling back there.
All right.
All right, moving on to no-knock. No-knock policy, I called Chief Casey. I have heard from a number of people that we've had extremely obnoxious, solicitations happening in town. Most recently from a pest control, but plug in the blanks because there's been a number of them, solar, blah, blah, blah. This kind of reminded me that a year or so ago, I had a gentleman come up to me and say, Laura, would you guys ever think about trying to really up the ante on not allowing people to solicit at all? He had an elderly aunt who lives at the end of a very long driveway by herself, and she just is absolutely in fear every time she has somebody come to her door. And quite honestly, it is a bit of an invitation for a scofflaw to pull baloney, if we're being honest. And I don't know about you guys, but the hackles on the back of my neck stand up if somebody's coming to my house uninvited. I'm not into it at all. I'm not into it. And particularly if it's somebody I don't even know, no. They're not gonna get a warm reception. I just think that there's so many other ways for people to solicit, and God knows I get them on my cell phone all the time, and I'm sure you guys do too, and I get spam emails and everything else. And what's even more concerning is like, some of these companies aren't even from Massachusetts, they're not even Hanson
Well,
companies.
I had a pest control, I got it out of the young lady, the second one that came. These are college kids that they recruited out in Utah.
Yeah.
And somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what
And
Lisa was
They
telling
were
me.
very,
Yeah.
they were very nice, the young man was nice, and the young lady was nice. And of course, they're coming to my house and trying to sell me pest control, and I said, go in the backyard and look what's back there, I don't think I want it.
I've got my pest control back there.
don't want
They
your
lay
pest
eggs
control. Yeah,
too.
they make honey.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not mad at those kids, they're just doing what they were brought out here for.
It's not the people, it's the companies.
It's the companies.
Yeah.
Yes, so how do we deal with that?
Well, so right now we have, Chief, did you want to come into our inquisition, chair? Right now we have, right now we've got a, you've got to register to solicit.
Right.
But frankly, I don't really think that the people are registering, and I don't even think they look up whether they need to register. And like Pembroke has got a whole different, situation where you register, you have to, you wear a placard if you're saying like, hey, I've registered, which of course people could forge. I mean,
Yes,
I'm just gonna play worst case, yeah. Yeah,
So, if I may.
yeah, please, join us,
Definitely.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So after we spoke, I did get right on this for you, and I actually was one of the ones that got a call regarding one of our citizens that was aggressively solicited, overly to the point where he came up to the town hall, spoke to someone in the Board of Health, which then called me, and so I rectified that by tracking down this gentleman, who, like you said, he was from Alabama.
Yeah.
And I made him void the $189 a month for a 4-year commitment for pet control.
We didn't even get that.
It was
far.
crazy.
Well, no, this
So-
gentleman was developmentally disabled.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
and that, and then itself, and then just
Oh, boy.
coincidentally, I'm out to dinner the following evening, and another town resident approached me and indicated that her mom, who has a care aide taking care of her during the day, was approached, and it was extremely aggressive again. So we do have a bylaw that requires certain steps, that they must register, they must present the placard. And all that really is done for us is it would give us then the authority to immediately tell them to cease and desist and to remove them. Now, over the past 30 years of myself being here, yes, people have knocked on doors, and we would hear about it 2, 3, 4 days later. Obviously, this certain group of, this company in itself has been very aggressive throughout a couple of towns, and so it's caused some attention. So I put out a special order. I kind of upped the ante. And I advise our officers, if we were to get even one, or you even to see them, check and see if they've registered. Have they come to the station? Because then I upped all of our requirements. And I will give you all a copy if you want to, with the updated bylaw, where we have a solicitor's permit. So if they don't follow these rules of coming in, checking in, we do a background. They have to apply 3 days prior to coming to town. We do a little bit of a background check on them. We get all the individuals' names that are knocking on the doors. We get the make of their vehicles. So at least we'll try to mitigate some form of concern. At least if someone were to call and say, there's someone in my yard, we can then say, we're aware. They checked in.
How much are we charging during?
So here's the permit is $5.
AC.
$5.
It's
Yeah.
$5.
Okay, so that's ridiculous.
And
Yep.
that's in the
for each
bylaw, that
kid?
is our bylaw. And
Yeah.
I'll get to the no knock if I may,
Yeah.
Madam Chair. Because I looked into that too, we were able to talk to some people that have a no knock situation or passed in the town ordinance, so it is a $5 permit fee. And obviously that's not going to the point, I'm quite certain, I'll tell you right now, no one checks in. And it is frustrating. Or let's give them the benefit of the doubt. I think the kids don't know to check in because they're just
would
being
they?
hired.
Yeah.
But the companies know, and they're not
Yeah.
advising them to, and just go on out, and then if we deal with it, the cops getting called, we'll deal with that. And even, you know, in full transparency, when we have approached people that have been soliciting in the past, as an officer or a supervisor, you're kind of like, hey, man, you can't do that, all right, just go check in next time. Zero tolerance. That's been the special order. It's zero tolerance. It's a cease and desist. Kick them out, not only off the property, out of town. And in the bylaw also, it's a $300 fine to the company if they do not check in. And we then were to encounter them, being it just on patrol or we receive a complaint.
How do we enforce that, though?
We'll enforce it by, we will create a citation and fine them. It's civil, it would have to be some form of, redeemed from the town, but we'll figure that out. In concerns of a no knock, and I've asked a few, and I know we spoke about this, that's a list that would have to be maintained by us. And even as, like you were just saying about solicitors, spam and calling, you might even be on a no call and you're still getting spam.
Yeah.
If we were to maintain this list, in which I've spoken to individuals from Yarmouth PD, and they say, the list is a nightmare because it constantly needs to be updated and it never is. It'd be a no-knock at 123 Blue Street, they move, new person comes in and doesn't understand why they're not still on the list, and we would say, well, you're the new owner, we don't know if you want solicitors or not, you needed to come in and talk to, it just causes all these things. And in the interim, they're not checking in anyway, so they're not even gonna know what's a no-knock.
Let me ask you this. I thought about this because I was looking, Pembroke has got that same thing, you've got to opt in. Why can't we're going to assume you don't want to have people come to you unless you opt out?
That's it, or put no solicitors on.
Nope, that's not working. People have already.
No, I understand that. It's just, because there's certain aspects of the bylaw where we can't just say they can't solicit.
Why?
Can we
I was
change the
just thinking that, why can't we say?
There's certain,
There's First Amendment
there's First
rights,
Amendment
yeah,
soliciting,
with, like,
religion, like you have to be very careful.
But you're invading someone's private property.
And that is where you would post or no solicit, or simply say, and we do.
Right.
You know, what is our main objective in this town, I always tell our officers is like, listen, you want residential quality of life. We want to keep the peace. We want to make sure that the townspeople are taken care of. And we need to respond if someone doesn't want them on the property. We're not always out there to see this individual walking down that long driveway.
Right.
So it is on the onus of the owner to simply articulate to them, hey, I don't want you on my property. I don't know if you saw the sign or not. Because we've locked up many people for trespassing, and every sign in the world's posted around the property, and they still proceed onto the property. So I'm open to any suggestions but I think if you would give this time, where when the solicitor comes in and posts, I'm gonna put it directly out on our media feed of, we just had someone register, just be aware they're gonna be in the area. I'm gonna give them a full description of who they are, what they're about, and if
That's what Pembroke does.
if you see them and you don't want them, immediately call us and we'll remove them.
Pembroke lists like solar such and such is
Sure.
approved for this 2-month period of time. So, I did reach out to, Kate Federoff. She's on vacation and I was like, I don't wanna.
Yeah.
But she texted me and she said, I'll have a couple people from the office look into it. But she said, be careful because there's no, she said the First Amendment stuff with religion and political. That's fine. I mean, God knows that would be very appealing too, to be able to stop, but okay. I would really like to look into, I don't want to add burdensome tracking onto you guys of trying to figure out who's opting in, who's opting out. But, I wonder if we could at least take a look at, can we take a negative consent approach? In other words, we're going to assume there's nobody in town that wants people to solicit. And if you want to, if you just want to have a free-for-all and have everybody come to your house, maybe you're lonely, you want to have conversations with people, then you can opt in. I'm going to ask Kate that question.
And that is, it's true, even if they were to register and do everything that the bylaw advises them to do, there are still gonna be individuals that wish not to have them on their property. And there's no way of those solicitors to even know, even if their intentions are of good nature. It's not a burden to us. It really isn't. I think what we can start from now is really holding them feet to the fire, where before we maybe didn't, full admittance, we would say, hey, can't go on here, or stuff, you gotta check in next time. And they went about their business.
Yeah,
That's no longer. And so when this company, and not these kids that are making their $17.50 an hour, it's the owners are realizing that they're not making any ground out here because the police keep interacting. Well, maybe we should do it the right way, and we will have register. And then at least I can then put it out there as this company is in the area and be advised.
I like that approach of, like, let's deal with what we have now and enforce it. And then I think, if we are gonna take that next step of, people registering, whether it's negative consent or people have to sign up or whatever, if it's gonna add any kind of, burden, which it clearly is, to keep some kind of register, then I think we need to think about $5 is ridiculous.
What do other towns
How come you
do?
keep getting kicked out by the Hanson police out of town? You're gonna stop coming.
Yeah,
And again, and we are being very careful. Like, there are certain solicitors of canvases, of peddlers, of hawkers that aren't really, they're pushing the gospel. They're
Yeah.
doing other things, and we have to really kind of be careful of, we're splitting those hairs. You have to.
So are you saying that the religious and political people need to register?
no, they don't need to
They have-
register, they have an
they-
exemption.
It'd be
Okay.
wise to say, hey, we're in the area. That isn't always the case. But if they're not soliciting and selling for goods or merchants.
right.
And they're just trying to pass on the word.
Right,
So what if you have there's been discussion online about no soliciting sign on my yard? Does that cover all?
I
Does
mean,
it cover,
I would recommend,
Yeah.
even if for the 89 cents or wherever, how much it costs to put one on your door or your yard. At least that may act as a deterrent for the time. It may not. There are, like, again, there are many, many people who see trespass signs, and we've locked them always up for trespassing and say, did you see the 12 signs out front? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So we're gonna
is
deal
it
with that anyway.
trespassing if they continue? Like, does a sign
No.
give you any more strength when you find them?
No, what's going to be, if you were to have a no solicitors, I think those individuals will not hesitate to call the police and say, I have a sign out front and I still have 3 people on our door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to come, we're going to advise them that we do have a bylaw, we have a standing order that now all officers are aware of. Did you check in? No, you need to check in. You need to present all your makes and models, names and addresses. You need to have a placard card visual at all times. You need to pay for a permit. Did you do any of that? Nope. See you later. Not next time.
Finish your day.
See you later.
Yeah.
And then we'll put it out. We'll still continue to communicate with the townspeople, indicating that they're in the area. There are some issues, and if you see, and again, no burden, it's what we do, we'll handle it. And I
Okay.
think after a while.
And so I think thank you very much for being so responsive to that, and that sounds like a great first step, and then let's get some information from town council on, where she thinks we might be able to push it a little further.
Because even with that no-knock, these solicitors, they're not checking in, they don't have a no-lock
Right.
list, and it's still gonna just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be on our end of
Yeah.
maintaining it, and then why am I on the list? I was on the list.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
Can
it.
you,
I'd rather-
is there some way in the bylaw to say, okay, if you do it, you're supposed to go through this, and if you do it without it, it's not you've just
It's a
done it
$300
today. It's a $300 fine
Yeah.
today. If somebody is doing it in town without coming to you, it's a $300
Yes.
fine?
Yeah.
But you're not charging, you're
We
not doing
probably
it.
have never charged,
We have,
yeah.
again.
I'm just
Because it's
thinking
the
about
kid.
the
Like,
mechanics of the whole
This
thing.
is,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
the first complaint we got, it blows my mind, all
Yeah.
right? You can clearly see that this individual isn't of the ability to make a financial decision of that, in that capacity. on
And that's
that
who
kind
they
of-
want to catch. That's
know,
who they're after, they're
and-
not after us.
Right,
because
so,
they know
and
it.
then others and others and others, and you've gotten some complaints, I'm sure you've all seen it, and then I was reading it on, on Facebook. And I can't comment, I always read, I'm always.
I don't comment
I'm
either.
reading,
I
and
don't
I'm
say a
getting
word.
frustrated, and I don't have any pseudonyms, and I never do that anything, but I'd be like, I want to say, and then I just don't want to stop that, but
I mean,
it's frustrating to hear.
I can understand people not wanting, I've just handled them. It's not been, I haven't had a
You have that
problem.
capability, some didn't, and
I guess
some
they
don't,
don't,
and
yeah.
you gotta be careful, but we have the capability.
Well, there's 3 of us in the house, and we all have a tude.
And we welcome it, because now it's more, hey, this is ridiculous. And those who want it, hey, go ahead, pay $1.89 a month, good luck.
Yeah,
So you're gonna reach out to,
So it's percolating, and Miss Green is gonna follow up with Kate's office. She said she was gonna have two people while she was on vacation, look into it, and, because as the chief said, there's some First Amendment rights, so we need to know where that bright line is, and then we need to know how can we push it a little bit further, so that, you know, we're being responsive, because what I'm hearing people say is, I don't want people coming to my house.
Madam Chair, that's what I did
yeah.
after our conversation. I made some calls to obviously my network, and that was the first thing they said, Chief, just, be careful, walk that line, and
Yeah.
I don't think we want to go down that road just.
No, we don't want
So I
any.
updated this,
yeah.
let's see if this
Yeah.
works, let's see if this is a remedy, and let's really put it out there and be public about it, and we'll be more, responsive towards it, and go
Can
from
I
there.
ask you a question about that? So you call that a bylaw?
Yep.
Is our bylaw?
It is a bylaw.
It's us,
yes.
bylaw
Yeah.
3-10.
Yeah.
And then you are building policy off the bylaw?
So then I created a special order, just as after this whole thing.
Right.
Where and I say I also, with the assistance of Sergeant Collegiero, he did a fantastic job also, and I want to give him all the credit.
Yeah.
But we were able to reestablish the solicitor's registration.
Okay.
And then the permitting, so we're just gonna take an aggressive
Right.
step of making sure that they're adhering to this policy, this bylaw rather.
Well, the bylaw is usually the basis for policy.
So
That's
now
what I'm
my
asking.
officers though are crystal clear of the objective of, if you see them and it, regardless, and they're not having any, if they're not following the bylaw and our standard of practice here,
Yeah.
then remove them immediately.
Get out.
And so that may be the deterrent
Right.
we're looking for,
Okay.
without violating anyone's freedom of speech and.
Exactly, we don't wanna go there. We don't want any unintended consequences.
So.
All right, thank you so much, that's amazing. And then, looks like we've got a, comfort dog, discuss a vote to approve resignation of Kathy Gerhart from Hanson High Street Park Committee.
so I guess.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, she's moving.
Because she's been a very valuable contributor. Well, thank you, Kathy, for all of your help and positivity, and you will be missed. And I will entertain a motion to approve the resignation of Kathy Gerhart from the Hanson High Street Park Committee.
So moved with regret.
And I'll second it with regrets.
Okay, all in favor? All right, and then that brings us to accept the following gifts. Police comfort dog donation, $20 and $147.50, and fire department, $80, and library, $1,295. I will entertain a motion to accept those gifts.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Right.
Amazing. Meeting minutes, July 8th, 2025. I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from
So
July
moved.
8th.
So moved. Yep.
All in favor? All right. And is this really true? Because this is gonna be a day that goes down in history.
Oh.
We have no liquor licenses to approve? Well, I think we better play the lottery today. Let's see. It's never happened before. All right, committee updates. Economic Development Committee, well, you kind of heard our update. We're really focusing on, Camp Kawani and, on profitability of the buildings, that we own. Mr. Frias also showed us 0 Washington Street. As you will recall, he got a grant, that, allowed us to get all the permitting in place, so that if we decide to sell it or lease it or whatever we want to do, it's ready to go. Shovel ready, as they say. Next the board needs to really talk about what do we want to do with that piece of property now that we've got that
Is that the industrial
permitting.
park?
It's the one right near the water department, yeah, down in the industrial park. So I know some people are saying sell it, and that may be the right thing. Of course, that's one-time revenue. So I don't know that we're in a position to develop it, so.
There's nothing there now, right?
There's nothing there now. And it may be that it's contiguous to the water department, and we think strategically, like, hey, do we want to get rid of a piece of property that's contiguous to the water department? Because what if we need some,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
keep my mouth shut.
growth?
I am too.
Okay. You don't need to keep your mouth shut
No,
on my behalf.
No, you know that I've always, what I thought about.
And I think
moving
I'm in the
that
same.
water
Are we saying
department.
DPW, that 3-letter word?
I'm not, no,
okay.
you
I'm
could
saying
put it on the
consolidate.
same property with a big wall in between and say no DPW along the wall. But that's a valuable piece of property in a building if you put it together.
It would be.
I know.
It is, yeah, it really is.
And that's not gonna make them happy,
and I-
but it's the truth.
I was a little astounded, and I was so astounded that I actually don't recall the square footage, but it was rather large.
I know.
That could possibly go there. So, and then, we've got Hanson Day coming up September 27th. That's a rain or shine event. September 27th, rain or shine. We particularly would like to have businesses participate. We definitely want to have town departments, participate so that people know who is working in town hall and our first responders and highway and the library, so that they can appreciate all of the talented people that we've got. And nonprofits, of course, we're always supportive of that. So far, I've got like 40 people that have responded. Now, if it rains, we're gonna have it at the middle school. And if it does not rain, which is my deepest, darkest desire, we will have it at Indian Head. Because that is the most
Indian
beautiful
Head
place to
bigger?
have, it's a better vibe. And
Okay.
it's right on the street, so it's like, just, it flows
So
better.
this is for Hanson Day.
It's Hanson Day, yep. So September 27th, be there or be square. And,
Bitterverth Soap will be there.
and then, yeah, so send me an email.
Got it, I have it already.
And that's it for
Sent you
the,
an email?
say what?
I haven't sent you an email?
Not that I recall.
I'll send you an email.
I'll see if you've made the list.
I think you better put that.
If you made the cut. High Street Park Committee, we don't have Mr. Weeks here. Highway Committee, any?
We're gonna have a meeting on August 5th.
Okay, all right, great, good. Nothing on, the Whitman Hanson Regional School Agreement. Anything popping on the Energy Committee?
Not that
No.
I know, we haven't met since last time.
When's your next meeting? And I know you're down one guy. How many
It's next
people have
Monday,
you
but I'm
got?
not gonna make it. We have three,
Oh, you do have three?
yeah,
Okay, without Jim?
yeah,
Okay, who do you have? You, Mary Ann,
John,
John Murray?
yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, cool. All right, that brings us to the town administrator report. Ms. Green?
Madam Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the board. So,
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Green. I did also want to just mention, that tomorrow night, we are having a, forum. I think that's what we're calling it, a forum, a presentation by the gas company. Attention residents on Oak Street, West Street, Park Street, Pine Grove Ave, Wood Road, and Lakeside Road. Do you have questions on the Gas Systems Enhancement Program? Please come to Camp Kawani on Wednesday, July 23rd, that would be tomorrow night, at 6 p.m. to hear Eversource's presentation on this program and what it entails. Now, just as an FYI, Mr. Heel had brought this to our attention, that there were a bunch of very concerned citizens in that area. Primarily, those are private roads. A little chunk of it is public, but primarily those are private roads. That is not under the purview of the select board. However, we did want to try to provide a forum for people to express their concerns and get their answers, questions answered. So, Colleen Lieb, our, executive administrative assistant, was able to reserve Camp Kawani for 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And the folks from Eversource, very kindly agreed to be there, answer questions. They were super responsive. I know I'm planning on being there tomorrow night. I did reach out to, Richard Jasmine, our highway, director, because I said, hey, there is a chunk of that that's like, public. You don't have to go, but like you might want to. He's totally aware. He said he's already had conversations with
good.
them. And he said, you better leave it the way you found it.
Good.
That's
Yeah,
basically
He mentioned that to
the
me also.
conversation. Or we'll be coming after you and, but he said for the public piece,
Yes,
because we can't really do it for the private. And I think you're planning on being there and,
Yes,
and
I'll be
hopefully we'll get a good, good smattering of
Yes,
people there.
I'm hoping they're plenty.
All right,
The people that do have questions know about it and ready to come.
okay, cool. All right, sorry about that, Ms. Green. Back to you.
a little bit different format for my town administrator report. So, I'm going to start out with some summaries and list of events, programs, department updates. We're approaching the end of July. Month of July, we had 2 heat waves of at least 3 90 degrees, 90 days or above. I want to recognize our fire department, library director, council on aging director, who all work together to offer your buildings to residents for cooling centers. Cranberry Cove Beach was open for families as an alternative means to cooling down. It's some beach fun. I'd like to thank the dedicated department heads and the staff for their hard work in coordinating all of this. Highway department employees worked during those heat waves, early in the mornings on outdoor projects, and then transition to indoor work during the afternoon hours, basically doing projects within air conditioning.
Well, that goes with it.
Employees
That
safe.
was with it.
Transfer station employees as well, they assisted residents in the morning at the transfer station, and then in the afternoon hours transitioned inside to stay out of the heat, so everybody stayed safe. So again, thank you all, the employees, for their hard work during the heat waves. West Washington Street paving project is complete. Highway Director Richard Jasmine and the highway employees did a great job working with the vendor to ensure the excellent job of repaving.
I don't know what you said.
After
Wait a
Eversource
minute.
performed some.
It looks great. I have to say, I honestly, I don't know if this is making me a geek or whatever, but I was driving down and going, this is one of the best paving jobs I've seen. Like, all of the curbing and the cuts were done, like, really,
Is this
like,
West Washington?
yeah.
It's gorgeous.
It was really
gorgeous.
done, you
Yeah,
know,
they did a great
Which
job.
Beautifully.
company was it? Eversource?
no, this was,
Who did the work
So,
on?
I think it's Peter Landers.
yeah.
No, but who did
But
the,
our highway, I'm recognizing our highway department and
Yeah.
director for overseeing.
okay, so it wasn't work done on the road?
No, it was, we were
We were
actually,
paving. Oh, excellent.
They're overseeing
Yeah.
repaving after.
honestly, it's a thing of beauty.
Good to recognize P.A. Landers then.
Didn't we pass a bylaw too that said that they had to do the whole road when they do these major, we passed something.
They have to put it back to the condition that it was before. And I have to say, Richard's very good about
Yeah, he
enforcing
is.
that.
Good job.
Very good.
It's actually
Very good
a better
job.
condition than it was before.
Yeah.
So, kudos to those folks. Our town planner, Tony DeFrayis, has been working on, he completed 6 One Stop for Growth grant applications for a project total of $877,500. So I'd like to recognize and thank him for his hard work on those applications. They are not easy applications to complete, they're complex. I attended the Mass Municipal Manager Association meeting last week, and they did announce the state has placed approximately $653 million into the program, One Stop for Growth program. It's very unfortunate that the town, Hanson, is no longer compliant with MBTA, which is what the One Stop for Growth looks at. So we may not receive any of that grant money. So I just want to say how much the state has put aside in investing in this grant program, and that's infrastructure, economic development, things like that.
Blackmail,
Um,
sorry.
Is there any benefit in still applying for the grants in
Oh,
case?
Tony is.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
He's still applying.
Okay.
He's
We're just gonna keep going until we hit the
Perfect.
wall.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
We're
Yep.
just gonna keep
Yep.
going and see what we get.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Our assessor reports that CAI Technologies is in the process of updating our maps and GIS, which is the Geographic Information System. So residents will soon be able to view the updated information in the next few months. So she will update, she'll put an update on the website when all of that is updated, the maps and GIS programs. Our IT director has been working very hard, reviewing all our technology systems and hardware. He's been holding meetings with our technology vendors and negotiating some lower costs for subscriptions. He is also finding lower costs for purchasing computers and other hardware devices. So kudos to him for clever ways of finding lower costs.
I've been copied on, because he's sending to all.
Oh, yeah.
all-
I'm reading them.
We've been copied on so many emails in the last 3 weeks. I'm getting whiplash. I mean, keep it up. It's
no,
great.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's visited every department, and he's hit the ground running, cataloging and inventorying our technology equipment and software subscriptions.
He's used to a much bigger system, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
He
So,
also has
good.
staff, so. he's
Right,
the one
oh,
that-
yeah, that's true, yeah.
So I really want to recognize and thank him for his work, the work he's done so far for the town, and the money he's already saved us. As well as I do want to recognize Whitman's IT specialist, Steve Burke, who basically kept us going during the almost year and a half that we didn't have an IT director, so.
And is it possible for us to recognize Steve Burke in some more formal way?
Yes.
Because he went way above and beyond. In fact, I don't even know if you guys know this, but he put together a manual for Matt.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, good.
I mean,
That's
he's
very-
filling in
that's good
for
of him,
us, like,
yes.
just to help, and he put together a whole manual
Yeah.
for Matt to
Yeah.
make the transition better.
Right.
So I really feel like,
Above and beyond.
yeah, it was way above and beyond.
Yeah.
So is there some way we could think about,
We could certainly put together a citation for
I
you.
know our budget's slight, but accommodation maybe costs the cost to print it and the ink to sign it, so.
Yes, absolutely. Most of the departments have permitized now. This is the online permitting system. The project has been 4 years in the works. They first started that when I came on board in 2021. There's still some small issues to work through, but as the bigger step, most of the departments the modules are complete. So now they're just getting everybody up to speed with working with the different modules communicating together. It's going to enhance the ability for folks to do online permitting, building permits, license renewals, board of health permits. So it's going to be easier for the general public as soon as they get used to the programs.
Now,
we're always
Lisa,
available.
are we still been a little clunky in the past where you put in the permit and then the way that it interacts with the treasurer collector who you have to pay the fee to, it's like you wait for them to manually tell you, and not, like, have we worked on that?
That's all, those are some of the small issues that are still
Oh,
being.
all right, okay.
Yeah, so, and now that Matt is on board, he's got his hands on it as well, so.
Okay.
I see much better things coming forward with Permitize, to help us with those little quirkiness that we have. And that software, that was funded through a community compact grant at $60,000. Senior Center received delivery of the modular building in 2 halves on Friday. And installation did begin on Saturday, and I understand the 2 pieces are now together, so they're continuing to do that work. They're moving fairly quickly on it. As soon as they, I guess, connect the 2 buildings with whatever technology they're going to connect, Mary will be able to start moving in furniture and things. They still have the flooring to do, and the insulation for the interior and things like that, but it's moving along quickly. I'd really like to recognize Mary Collins, Stairway Director, our Town Planner, Tony DeFrayas, Facilities Maintenance Technician, Charlie Baker, and our Building Commissioner, Mike Christofoli. They brought much needed collaboration with Box Modular, and saw the whole project. So kudos to all of them, because there was a lot involved with that. So
Amazing. Now, are they gonna have a little grand opening ceremony, little ribbon cutting? Like, what's happening with
I
that?
hope so. I hope to
Okay.
maybe work with Mary on putting together some type of a grand opening and welcome, to the new senior center addition. And I believe the plan is to hold the new day support program in that new addition.
It's gonna be great.
And again, that building, that was covered by a grant of $300,000 that Mary Collins applied for and was awarded. So, again, it just shows the talent that we have here in Hanson with the grants that we have received. Procurement, I finalized and published the procurement for the Bristol County Agricultural High School student transportation. Hanson, it looks like we're going to have 3 students. Whitman is going to have 2. I do keep my fingers crossed that we will get some bids on that transportation. Insurance, I received the finalized insurance premium invoice from our carrier, Maya. This is for our liability, vehicle, professional, and workers' comp premiums, not including Camp Kiwanee, but we're still seeing an average of 16.82% insurance savings based on what the town had been paying prior to 2021, prior to I came on board. So we're still seeing an average yearly savings of $48,335.
That's amazing. Well done, Ms. Green.
Good.
Union negotiations, they have demanded a great deal of time, but I'm happy to report we've come to agreements with 3 of our unions. Negotiations will continue with the remaining union, and I have 4 articles already in the October special town meeting warrant for supplements of the appropriations for the union contracts. Human resources, again, assistant collector position was posted and filled with an in-house candidate. excited to see that. I will work with the treasurer collector, Lisa, we talked about the plan for transition and training. I am going to, speak with conservation agent, Frank Skellinger in the morning. Plan is to post that position. I did receive permission from the union to post in-house and outside at the same time, in hopes that really getting to fill that vacancy fairly quickly so as not to leave the Conservation Commission without administrative help.
Thank you.
Executive assistant to the select board and town administrator was posted as soon as Mrs. Lee tendered her resignation. Interviews, I do have some interviews scheduled for July 31st. I'm sorry, yes, Thursday, July 31st. Resumes are still coming in. The deadline is July 25, but my hope is to present a candidate to the board by August 5th for consideration, as I do want to get that position filled as soon as possible.
Lisa,
and then-
excuse me, Lisa, do you have a time for that?
1 o'clock and 2 o'clock.
Okay.
All right, challenges, opportunities, needs, and miscellaneous. Cleanup of small area of ground contamination continues at the life control complex. Again, funded by a one-stop grant of $237,000. I have asked for Vantis representatives to come to a future meeting to just give an update on where they are with the cleanup. of that
That'd be
property.
great. Yep.
So I hope to either have them to one of the August meetings on that. Work, again, and we are working already on the draft warrant for the October special town meeting. All the departments received the memorandum. Submission date is by August 8th. And of course, if they don't have, we can put a placeholder if they need more information. But we're working
August
on-
8th?
Yes.
Yikes, okay,
Yeah, I mean, it's coming up quick.
yeah.
We will work with, gonna start reaching out to maybe the Attorney General's office to get maybe some technical assistance on MBTA communities law. And that actually concludes my town administrator report for today.
Well, I love the new format. I think it's amazing. Did anybody have any questions for Ms. Green? Okay. All right, well, with that, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session. We will not be returning to open session. Executive session pursuant to open meeting law, chapter 30A, section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body and the chair so declares. Litigation, 1057 Main Street, MCAT complaint, MBTA collective bargaining discussions, union negotiations, admin, fire, highway, police, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel, police chief, executive session pursuant to open meeting law, chapter 30A, section 21A7, to review and approve executive session minutes not to be released, July 8th, 2025. I will entertain that